Today what we're going to do is make a chicken broth, and what I've done here is I've put the ingredients out so that you can see everything that I'm going to use in this recipe. I'm going to use curly parsley, carrots, celery, parsnip, garlic, 1 red onion, and 1 yellow onion. I'm also going to use 1 chicken, was 4.24 pounds. I'm going to use that and cook it as a whole chicken. We're going to use 3 types of seasonings. In the recipe that I like to use, I use whole black peppercorns, Celtic sea salt because of the amount of nutrients in it, along with the pink Himalayan salt, again for the nutrients in it as well. Celtic sea salt and the pink Himalayan salt have less processing, so with that I prefer to have coarse pink sea salt, and it really adds a lot of flavor to the soup and doesn't require as much seasoning based on my experience. In this recipe we also use extra virgin olive oil. We're going to cook this in a 7-quart Dutch oven. The first thing I'm going to do is preheat the Dutch oven. I'll add in 3 tablespoons of olive oil. So I've diced my white onions and I'm going to go ahead and add them in. Here I've diced the red onions and I'll add those in. And one thing you may have noticed is that the onions have not started sizzling, so I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit. On a Dutch oven you don't want to turn it too high because it can ruin the finish. The recommendation by this manufacturer is to keep it at a low temperature so that it doesn't discolor the pan and create other issues. So we're going to give this a stir. And let it simmer some more. I've lowered my heat on medium heat. So I've crushed and chopped the garlic, and so I'm going to add that in. One thing you'll probably notice is the red onions are pretty strong for the ones that I use. They are organic red onions. I didn't have organic for everything that I used in the recipe, such as the olive oil. However, if I can find it in my area, I do tend to use organic items if they're available. In some items, I notice the taste is more flavorful. However, you use what you have access to. The red onions are pretty strong and they do bring tears to my eyes. Next, I'm going to add in the celery, which again, I've diced, I've chopped it, and I'll add these in. So here I have the parsnip. Most of these ingredients from Whole Foods. So if you have one available, that may be where you can get the organic ingredients if they're important to you. If not, again, like I said, check with your local grocer, see what they have available. Next, I've chopped up some carrots. Here I've chopped up the curly parsley. I apologize, I forgot to mention one item: dill. This recipe does use fresh dill. So next we're going to add the whole chicken in with some organs. They do add nutrition. So the next thing I'm going to do is add 2 tablespoons of peppercorns. And 2 tablespoons of pink salt. 2 tablespoons of Celtic salt. And so last, I'm going to add in water. And I don't fill it all the way to the top because I don't want it to overflow, so I'll leave about 1 inch from the top. I'm going to let this simmer and cook for the next 6 hours. So the broth is finished cooking. Midway, I did turn the chicken over so that that flavor could get into the broth. This is what it's looking like. I'm going to put it in a large mason jar that's going to be 64 ounces. I'll show you what that looks like after the fact. The next day, consistency of this, it's, let's see. But the texture of it is like that. If you've made this recipe, if you have some suggestions of your own, please feel free to share in the comments below. Thanks for watching.